Imagine, we are both complete strangers to one another. Although I'm not able to make any distinctions of your hobbies, opinions, or beliefs, I could instantly assume you are most likely someone who incorporates music into your daily life, be it listening to music in the background when completing work, road trips, the local supermarket, shows/movies, or even advertisements. Considering that all of humanity engages with music in some way, it is reasonable to suggest that music has a sizable impact on Western civilization. For this topic, I'll be focusing on the influence towards Western civilization of the world, particularly American society. Some applicable humanities themes that should be noted throughout this video include man's relationship to community/society and man's relationship to self. These themes are essential to classify how a topic resonates or impacts a person who experiences it. From this perspective, we must reflect on questions like, does music bring us together? Does music make who we are? Does music express our thinking/emotions? In a brief overview of what this video will cover, I will explain music's integration in early human development in South Africa, ancient Greece's philosophical view/perspective on music's impact on the Western world, music's unifying nature on American society, music's supporting role in self-discovery/health, and the reflective aspect of music representing human thought/concern. All these topics are factors and timelines that come together to truly form the significance of music on American society. Before delving deeper into the significance of music in our lives, we must take a look back at its upbringing. Humanity's involvement in music dates back to its beginnings in South Africa during the Stone Age. Both humans and music evolving ever since. According to Frederick H. Martin's The Influence of Music in World History, music was first felt in humanity's primal ages, presenting ideas, emotion, and influence. Historically, it has been utilized to send a racial or dynastic ideal, expressing powerful tones that propagate religious and nationalistic ideas, primitively expressed through magic chants, charms, and incantations, with the belief of pleasing gods and participating in magical remedies. Another source, titled What Did the Stone Age Sound Like? By Sarah Wilde, mentions that in one cave painting, or rock art, that is suggested to be more than 5,000 years old, depicting half animal, half humans, and dancing people, most notable an ochre-brown figure that appears to be playing an instrument, particularly a music bow. Considering these early uses of music, humanity has essentially grown right beside music. Moreover, the reasoning for its use from primal history seemed to have assured humanity of positive effects, associating the social enjoyment of music with hope, belief, change, communication, and symbolism. Personally, I have noticed that some songs that I listen to, either directly or indirectly, place nationalistic, religious, racial, and poetic messages, broadening my knowledge on such matters, or allowing discovery of new perspectives that I have never thought of before. Today, these songs are still prevalent in American society, as music artists create lyrics or sounds that are intended to relate to ideas, opinions, tradition, culture, and belief. And relevance to the humanities themes, man's relationship to community/society can be clearly identified here, as the early engagement of music and humanities history allowed for communal connection/expression, emphasizing on one's religious ideas, norms, and feelings. The philosophical view of music is an essential understanding of how music is integrated in daily American society. Particularly, ancient Greece believed that music had a powerful influence/control over communities and its members. In David Eaton's Music and Values in Western and Eastern Cultures, it tells that various ancient cultures, such as China, Egypt, Greece, and India, held strong beliefs in the moral and ethical power of music, going past music's entertainment qualities and associating it with religious and philosophical beliefs, degrading or uplifting individuals, therefore leading to either the enhancement or corruption of civilizations. To add on, the journal article, 3 Aspects of Music in Ancient China and Greece, by Mary T. Guarant, explains that early Greek culture was a cornerstone of Western civilization. In the span between 530 BC and 320 BC, philosophical educator Plato, like Confucius, advocated the study of music because of its moral value, considering music as a tool in guiding and controlling people's passions. Thus, music had a large contribution in the molding of character. When I read this philosophical interpretation of music, I instantly thought about how true and realistic this transition of music from affecting one person to a whole society really is. An example that represents musical guidance of Western society is that of the Star-Spangled Banner by Francis Scott Key. This anthem/song has and continues to guide American society towards feelings of nationalism and pride for the United States, benefiting American society with a clear identity of their home country and presenting what their country stands for. The humanities themes that can be associated with this control of music over society and its members heavily correlates with man's relationship to self and man's relationship to community/society in that order. As music's influential qualities begins from one person's interpretation and grows to become a societal interpretation that either afflicts or benefits them. With prior information indicating society's consumption of music and connections via ideas/feelings, the art of music is also something that can naturally unify American society. As explained in Ian Olteanu's The Formative Function of Musical Interactions Within Social Identity, music entails emotional, no less than motor arousal. Music is needed for its ability to move us, to induce feelings and moods, states of mind. In reality, our auditory systems and nervous systems are tuned for music, suggesting that humans are a musical species, no less than a linguistic one. Musical compositions and sound installation can be considered embedded practices that are culturally meaningful to humanity. Noticeably, music triggers the average human mind, reaching out for a reaction from the listener. In regards to American society as a whole, we are naturally vulnerable to the effects of music on our cognitive state, allowing us to connect with certain musical pieces if reactions align. When I think of music unifying Western civilization, there are various events, such as concerts, clubs, parties, and simple gatherings to consider. Evoking audiences or attendees with similar reactions to musical pieces, even possibly getting them to dance or change their mood. But some musical pieces that I believe best represents the natural unity music brings to American society are The Chicken Dance by Warner Thomas and Happy Birthday by Patty Hill. Most notably, The Chicken Dance is considered a socially traditional music piece, played during special/social events that is surely to get people out of their seats, to dance, and generally increases moods. Additionally, Happy Birthday evokes a sense of connection through singing, as some take time to acknowledge an individual for their date of birth. Realistically, not every individual will react in the same way to these musical pieces, but there is likely someone or a group out there that feels the same way towards such songs. In terms of the humanities themes, man's relationship to community/society is most clearly portrayed as man can find a sense of unity with Western society's natural reactions to music and sometimes particular songs, finding the people who they identify with most and integrating themselves in practices. Distinctively, music can be perceived as a remedy and an eye-opening experience, as the listener engages with all that music has to offer. Under music therapy, an individual may utilize music to improve their mental health and think about their self-image. In The Healing Power of Music Therapy for Mental Well-Being by Leah Peralta, describes that music can impact an individual by allowing them to delve deeper into consciousness to process a wide range of emotions. Music particularly impacts numerous parts of the brain, including emotion and cognition, treating mental ailments, including depression and anxiety. Additionally, music therapy can build self-confidence and increase awareness of one's own behavior. Given this information, Music is proven to have individual benefits, as songs can help individuals confront illnesses or negative emotions that are disruptive to daily living and take a deeper look into their character. In Western society/civilization, musical pieces that are listened to or are performed are opinionatedly felt to be special/relatable and perceived as having deep messages due to depicting an individual's emotional status or broadening what they knew about themselves. I have personally found playing my classical guitar to be a calming activity, but also an audible confrontation with the emotions I feel at the time, as I tend to play a random assortment of chords until I create a short, improvised song that either has a joyful, mellow, or saddening tone which I become attracted to, sometimes repeating them for multiple days until I move on to another tune. Moreover, a song that deeply resonates with me is I Know There's an Answer by the Beach Boys, confronting my clouded thinking of my own future. I personally interpret the song as having a motivational tone to it, as every time I hear the lyrical emphasis on the title name, I emotionally feel hopeful for my future endeavors and proud of my accomplishments, which are evidence of my capabilities to endure any other obstacles. In regards to the humanities themes, man's relationship to self is clearly explored in this topic, as members of Western society utilize music as a supporting aid to properly confront or challenge their emotions, mental illnesses, and way of thinking through their own interpretation or analysis of the content in musical pieces. Standing as the final topic, music is an opportunistic method of expressing social thoughts and concerns. Similarly, although distinctively different to the previous topic on Greek philosophy, indicating music's societal control/guidance, this topic covers the awareness music brings to situations or events. According to Reflect on the Impact of Music in the New Era by Le Yun Wan, it mentions that music creators integrate their thinking about social reality, yearning for a better life. Thus, their music creates a call to action for environmental protection, cherishing natural resources, and cultivate people's sense of social responsibility and environmental awareness. With this context, music is proven to be contributing in creating a more productive and suitable future for Western society, utilizing lyrics and sounds in musical pieces to point out/suggest the problems Western society needs to urgently turn their attention to for their own well-being. A prime example I believe correlates to this idea and American society is the song Fortunate Son by Creedence Clearwater Revival, as its lyrics contain a concern of social inequalities seen in the United States war drafting system. Particularly, this song has been commonly associated with the Vietnam War in the late 1960s, where soldiers regularly played this motivational or personal relatable song in the front lines and effectively fueled protests against the war in American society. In relevance to the humanities themes, man's relationship to community/society is represented as individuals grow connections with others through musical messages that show an artist's opinionated concerns or thoughts on qualities in society. All in all, music is a powerful force that is commonly left unnoticed by humanity. Most prominently, Western civilization can be claimed to be affected by the abilities and presence of music. Starting from humanity's early integration/roots of music in South Africa around 5,000 years ago during the Stone Age, according to early depictions of early humans utilizing instruments to conduct traditions/beliefs, to Western introduction of music as Greek philosophical interpretation between 530 BC and 320 BC, spoke of music guidance/control of an individual, then their society to greater good or failure, thus allowing for modern uses of music in Western civilization, such as the natural social unification music brings to society through cognitive triggers, the healing music provides to man's mental health and self-interpretation via the qualities heard in musical pieces, and the social awareness music brings to current events/challenges that endanger the well-being of Western society. This timeline of events showcases that the art of music has been long relied on by humanity, going beyond the typical entertainment value music is commonly regarded for, proving that music has a societal impact on Western civilization.